How's it going? Today we're going to be talking about doubling down on your natural skills. So, there's so much pressure in the world that we feel like we should do things that we're not interested in, Go to college to do accounting, or be a lawyer when you're not interested in that, for the money. But as you grow up, you tend to realize that it's not all about money. It's not all about society. It's not even really about what your parents think. It's all your life experience. So, what I want to convey in this is if you feel passionate about something, there's enough angles and enough ways nowadays that you can make a living and live a successful life by doing what you love. And it's I don't want to say easier than ever because I might upset some people, but it's definitely possible to make even more than just a small living, but to live a great life and have a great time doing what you truly love doing. So, whenever you feel passion or you feel like what you're doing means something to you, it's important that you double down on your natural skills. Double down on yourself. See, you have to pick yourself, right? And when you pick yourself, you're going to do a lot of things. And when you do something that feels good, it's important to double down on that, because there's a lot of people in the world that go their whole lives not doing anything that they like doing. So, for those people, you have to live your life to the best of its ability. So, let's talk more about your natural skills. How do you determine that you're good at something? Because it's kind of hard. Because even if people tell you that you're good at something, they could just be lying to you. So it all comes down to feeling it out. Feeling like what you're doing is something you enjoy. Okay? Because if you enjoy doing it, it's going to become more than that. We have this habit where if we do stuff that we enjoy, we get the dopamine rush, we get the burst of, chemicals in our mind that says this is exactly what I want to be doing right now. And that's important, like I said, because there's people that don't ever really, get that full on rush and can't keep it going. But when you get that dopamine rush and you know that you're doing something and you feel like you're being productive and it's something that you're good at, it's important to see what it is and be a realist and see how you could double down on this, especially if it's a productive endeavor. If it's something that you could someday have a career in or see the opportunity, or if it's a creative endeavor that you don't see any opportunity but you want to do it. I mean, that's what Leonardo da Vinci did, and all the time. He would simply feel the spark of inspiration and he would go off on a tangent and he would just go down the rabbit holes, and he would inevitably come back out a better person with more information and more knowledge on vast amounts of subjects, which led to his ability to draw diagrams of helicopters and bridges and military stuff, and then he was the first person to ever fully draw the human anatomy, all kinds of crazy shit. And that was because he was doubling down on his natural skills, his natural ability to be curious, to be relentlessly curious, to draw, then paint and sculpt, and he really always wanted more. But there would also be scenarios where, the king of some town would offer him tons of money to do something, and he would just say, no. And that's another power, is the power of no. You have to say no to the stupid shit and say yes to your natural skills, your natural abilities. You have to be uniquely yourself. You're unique just like everybody else. But it's true, like, if there's something that you want to do that you feel is important to you and it's a natural inclination, you know, that's uniquely yours. Just because there's other people doing it doesn't mean anything. All that matters is that you have that fire burning inside of you. And as with fire, if you double down on it, it gets bigger. It becomes stronger, more ferocious inside of you. So what's important when you're trying to decide what to do with your life is that first you experiment, right? And then you double down on your natural skills. We all have some skills. We all have things that we're uniquely better at than other people. And it's important that we really go into those areas of ourselves and explore. You know, we have to really look inside ourselves and see what uniquely makes us ourselves. What are we interested in? Are we better at writing or math? Are we more interested in poetry or, you know, astrophysics? You know, and it's like, if you're really, really fond of cooking and food, then you shouldn't be studying mathematics, you should be studying cooking. If you're really into art, then maybe you necessarily shouldn't be looking at diesel mechanics, you know? But just like seeing and thinking about the things that you're good at is important, you know? And we don't always necessarily know what we like. So it's sometimes important to get a third opinion from someone else. So I don't necessarily recommend you talk to your closest friends because they'll just kind of tell you what you want to hear. But find people that you trust their opinion. I've actually gotten a lot of good information from, I wouldn't call them my enemies, but people that don't necessarily like me. They kind of tell me the truth because they don't fucking have to tell me anything else. And then also, it's interesting when you ask your parents, you know, sometimes your parents will lie to you, or your parents aren't the best resource, but they were there when you were younger. And it's interesting to go back and see, Sprocket, what they thought of you when you were younger. Like, were you really into painting? Were you really good with other kids? Were you really good at sports? You know, all these natural skills that you had when you were little that you don't necessarily remember or aren't necessarily connected to now. You know, you tend to drift around a lot. But it's interesting, when you were 5, you had no filter. You weren't conformed yet by the world, and it's just another useful tool. So what I recommend from here is that you write down all the things that you think are your natural skills and all the things that you're passionate about. And then you go through and you find one that you can truly focus on and truly double down on. And you do it. And you take that skill and you see how far you can push it, how far down the rabbit hole goes, and what it can mean for your life. You know, this is how you become a genius, is you find something that you're not only passionate about, but that you're uniquely good at and that you're uniquely skilled in. And then you just max it out and you just push and push and push. And you'll either come to a point where your experiment fails or this experiment changes your life forever. I think no matter what, it'll change your life. But there's some ideas that we have, like probably 2 ideas a year, that if we just acted on would change everything. So that's what we're looking for. And like I said, it's not all about money. It's really about just enjoying your life. So if you're already uniquely interested in something or uniquely talented in something and it comes easily to you, then double down. Ride the waves, you know. Take it to the max. All right. Double down on your natural skills. Peace.